This is Suvarnabhumi Airport, Bangkok. Flying to Cambodia. A short 1-hour flight that cost only 57 bucks. Second time to Cambodia. But I haven't been to Phnom Penh, the capital, before. So this is a short 5-day trip to Cambodia. And then flight back here to Bangkok. That flight was 81 bucks. All right, time to figure things out and see you on the other side of security, immigration, all that kind of stuff. Yowza, this guy's colorful. Epic shirt. All right, that all went very, very quick. It is now 12:15. My flight is at 2:40. So almost 2.5 hours until departure time. But boarding time, it says, is an hour before that. So I have an hour and a half-ish. And I am very hungry. The ideal would be to find an English pub, or Irish, or Scottish. Get a British breakfast. No idea if there might be one around here. And also a good beer could hit the spot. Something other than Chang, Leo, or Singa. Something a little more different and tasty. So let's cruise around here, see what the options are. So I was asked at check-in there for onward flight and my visa. So as I understood it, then you can get a visa on arrival for Cambodia. So maybe that would have been fine if I just said, I don't have my visa yet. I'm getting it when I land in Phnom Penh. Not sure about that, but I had gotten the e-visa online and had that printed out as was required. It said 2 copies of the visa printed out, and so I was all prepared there. So, you know, better to make it easier if possible. So I decided to go ahead and get that visa in advance. I think that it was $30 and relatively easy doing it online. So let's see how things go from here. So a word about the currency of Cambodia. So they use the riel, but they also use the US dollar. And from what I recall, having been to Cambodia one time before, that was in 2016, then it's a fixed 2-to-1, or maybe it was, wait, because I just looked at the exchange rate on xe.com, and it was a massive number. Maybe it's 2,000-to-1. Anyways, I just checked at a currency exchange desk there, and they don't have the Cambodian currency, and so they said use the US dollar. I have 4,000 Thai baht left that I'm going to change, and so I wanted to know the exchange rate. First, I am going to get whatever I get for brunch here and a beer or whatever, and pay for that with cash, and then see what I have left over. But so I asked them the exchange rate for the Thai baht back to the US dollar, and they said 116. So for 4,000 Thai baht, they were going to give me $116 US. I looked on xe.com, the website, or I have an app on my phone, and it was showing $117 to 4,000 baht. And so, in other words, they're offering a great exchange rate there. And so I will go ahead and change it. Or maybe this one. I think same company, K-Bank. So I will get something to eat and drink. Ooh, this looks like it might be the place. Kohop Bar. Wow. Some good looking stuff. Very touristy food. Not Thai. What do they have? Beers. Chang, Guinness, Heineken. Not interested in any of those. That is one reason I want a British pub, if there is one, is be better beer selection. Here we have Reserve. Oh, that's Singa, I think. Leo, Heineken. I despise Heineken. One of my least favorite beers. Chang, Asahi is okay, but still, that's just nothing too exciting. Mostly seeing just all the usual suspects. Quite an assortment of different kinds of restaurants. Bento sushi. But is there anywhere I can get a Western style breakfast, especially considering that it is after 12 noon? Maybe that was it. There was another wing of the airport going back the other way. Chili bar. Ooh. This is looking more authentically Thai, but that's not what I want for breakfast. Mostly Thai and some great looking stuff, but I'm just not in the mood for noodles and stir fry for breakfast. Okay, the quest continues. Okay, here's their breakfast, but it's like a shrimp rice soup. Ooh, American breakfast set. Sawadee krap. Breakfast now?
Yeah, no.
Yeah? Okay, great. And, okay, the beers I'm looking.
We have Heineken, beer, Sang.
Okay, great. I take a seat, yeah. And change of plans. Went for a mojito. And got toast and breakfast coming. And boom, I am in my room in Phnom Penh. Look at this. Not bad for $31 US per night. This is like genuinely kind of fancy. Not exactly a kitchen, but full-sized fridge. Oh yeah. Phnom Penh, I think it is actually just pronounced Phnom Penh, is looking really, really interesting. So this is my second time to Cambodia. First time I came overland from Thailand in 2016 and crossed the border to Siem Reap, went to Angkor Wat and then Battambang. And so I was only in the country maybe 10 days and then caught a flight to Kathmandu, Nepal, and did my whole several months in Nepal after that. And so I'd never been to the capital, and because of the prices of those flights, and quick and easy, then decided to go ahead and squeeze in another Cambodia trip before Nepal once again. So that's kind of interesting, although I am stopping in Bangkok, flying another direct flight 1 hour back to Bangkok in 5 days, and then 4 nights in Bangkok. I haven't decided what I'm going to do there, if I will just stay in Bangkok or go somewhere else. But 5 full days, well, 5 nights, 4 full days to explore Phnom Penh here, and so that is a good amount of time for a city. So it is 5 p.m., the sun going down. Let's get out there and just get a little taste of Phnom Penh here. I saw a lot of interesting looking things along the way here that I will save for a more proper city tour video. So let's go see the streets a little bit and the river. Look at this place. Shine Business Club Bar. Locked at the moment. My hotel is right there. So one of the reasons that I booked that hotel, not only because it looked quite nice at a good price, but I wanted to be near this neighborhood that I had remembered seeing in other people's videos. It was a really nice, pleasant, like nightlife area with restaurants and maybe a walking street, something like that. I can't remember what it is called at the moment, but to the best of my recollection, then it is down this way. So I could look on my phone, but let's just walk this direction for now and see what we find. So I forgot to mention the date and temperature when I started the video in Bangkok, so I'll mention it here. Today is April 4th, 2025. I forget the day of the week now. Thursday, maybe? And it is currently 90 degrees Fahrenheit. That is 32 degrees Celsius, so quite hot, especially for this time of the day, and humid, very similar to Bangkok. So my cell phone is working here as it does basically everywhere. For those who haven't heard me mention it in the past, then I don't need to get a local SIM card. I have T-Mobile cell company in the US and elsewhere. I have an international plan. It's about $85 US per month and gives me full service, data, everything, everywhere I go, depending of course on the cell phone towers. No, thank you. Okay, so we have an interesting looking market here. And there, the river the Tonle Sap River. And the name of the river sounds familiar, so maybe it is the same one that flows through Siem Reap. Phnom Penh night market. And let's try to cross this street, follow the locals. Looks like I might have to do one of those boat rides one of these days. So far, gotta say, Phnom Penh is looking very, very interesting. So I was back in Thailand on Koh Samet Island, considering my options. I had 9 days more after I was supposed to check out of my hotel there on Koh Samet, and so was considering what to do. Lots of options, of course. The original plan was to go to Koh Kood Island, which I already talked about. Nice island that I visited way back in 2007 and got sick there for the whole 5 days that I was there and didn't really see much of it. And so I wanted to go back ever since, and it was in the same direction as Koh Samet, but past it. And so it was going to be a pretty big journey getting there from Koh Samet. About a 3-hour drive and then a boat ride, fairly long boat ride. But I was thinking, you know, what's going to be more interesting both for me and for you guys? Another Thai island or something new? And it was actually a lot easier as far as the transportation situation to come here than to go to Koh Kood. Okay, maybe that is the street that I was thinking of. I decided let's do it. I wanted to come back to Cambodia, to Phnom Penh. Was thinking of incorporating it into my plans earlier, and that didn't happen. And so since I will be basically heading west from here, and so I fly to Bangkok in 5 days, and then Kathmandu 3 days after that. And then by the time I'm done in Nepal, it's going to be May. And May is getting into Europe season, Greek islands, Italy, Spain. We'll see where else. And so this was my chance to squeeze in somewhere else in Asia. So a quick synopsis of my getting from Koh Samet to Bangkok, booked the flight, and then booked a hotel, as I showed at the beginning here, right near the airport, 10 minutes away. And then it was a matter of how exactly to get from Koh Samet into Bangkok, because the transportation connections aren't great, as I showed in my other video getting there. So I went to a travel office and asked about a bus from the pier on the mainland back to Bangkok, and they just said there isn't anything, catch a taxi. So I don't know if there might have been some sort of minivan option if you book it somewhere else, but anyways, yesterday morning, got up, checked out, got down to the pier on Koh Samet Island, and there are speedboats and the slower ferries, and I really lucked out with the timing. Man, crazy looking rickshaw thing up there, all stacked up with like household items, it looks like. So I get down to the pier, and there is a boat leaving in like 3 minutes, 150 baht, so $4.50. That was the fast boat, a catamaran. It was much more stable than the bumpy speedboat that I took from Koh Larn to Pattaya. So this one was a more enjoyable ride, and it was only like 10 minutes. So got over to the mainland there, and there was a guy offering a taxi right there when I got off the boat. Asked him how much to Pattaya, because I figured go there and then catch a cheaper bus from there to the Bangkok airport. And so he said 1,000. So if you happen to see my other video about traveling the opposite direction, then the taxi driver in Pattaya said it was going to be 1,500 baht from Pattaya to Ban Pei Pier to catch the boat to Koh Samet. And so this was the exact same distance in reverse, and he said 1,000, so there's a better price. And so that is $30 US. And so got that taxi to Pattaya, and then got dropped off at the bus station in Jomtien, where there are direct buses to Suvarnabhumi Airport. The next bus wasn't for a little more than an hour, which was perfect because I was starving. So I found this restaurant right nearby where I had the best English breakfast I've ever had. I think it was so big and so good. So as I was mentioning at the airport, looking for an English breakfast, I love the English breakfasts, much better than what I had today. It was still all right, but a proper English breakfast is much better. And so had a big breakfast there. And then bus for, it was less than 150. It was like 140 something, so like $4 to Suvarnabhumi Airport, and then a taxi from there to my hotel. So there you go. That is the full story. All right. Let's wander over to, ooh, wow. Okay. I had seen the Royal Palace on the map. I'm assuming that must be it there. So let's take a look at the palace and then walk over to the restaurant scene. So this must be the Royal Palace. I don't know if you can go inside at some point earlier in the day, or if it's maybe still lived in and closed off to the public. Hopefully filming isn't a problem. I guess somebody will tell me if it is. Oh, okay. There are some foreign looking people inside there, so maybe the entrance is somewhere else. And here we go. Entrance. Maybe this isn't the Royal Palace and it's a monastery, because there are Buddhist monks in orange robes. I guess I should look at my phone and figure out where I am. Wow, okay. No ticket entrance or anything? Amazing. Hiya. So I just spoke with that couple there. Not sure where they were from, maybe the UK, not a strong accent, but this is not the Royal Palace, this is a monastery. It's really remarkable though. So the Royal Palace is down the road a little ways, and I guess it's a lot bigger and busier. Huh, so I guess this one is under construction, almost finished, presumably going to be painted similarly. Amazing that you can just wander in here and explore as you wish. It almost seems like people are living here. That guy doesn't have a monk's robe on or anything. Or maybe they're just visiting as well. Anyway, more amazingness from Phnom Penh. Okay, let's go check out the restaurant scene. So there is the monastery right there. And then here, this very interesting market street food scene. Wow. This is happening. Where to go, where to go? Man, this is the real deal. People chopping up fish and meat. The range of smells. Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, and you?
Great, great. Whoa, is that a duck, I guess? At first I thought it was a frog. It's like, okay, that's a little big for a frog, even a big toad. Duck or chicken back there, I guess. So I was thinking it would be nice to find some sort of kind of nice-ish restaurant, get a glass of wine, and get to work, chill out. Not sure if this is going to be the right neighborhood for that, but let's see what else we come across. Man, this is just hardcore. We are not in Thailand anymore. So maybe this was the street that I was thinking of. Party girl, happy hour, pool table. Phnom Penh Nightlife 2025. Yeah, this is definitely the place to be in the evening and night. All right, we got a market here, going to see what they got. So there we have the good old 7-Eleven. The market that I went to is a block down that way. So I got a large carton of juice, a mixed mango and other fruit juices, and then a yogurt drink, also a large one. It wasn't exactly cheap. For the two, it was $5.62. So they use both the US dollar here and the local currency, the riel. And I checked online on xe.com, and the exchange rate is like 3,982 to $1 US, something like that. Basically, it's 4,000 to 1. And so I happen to have some cash because I converted the rest of my baht back at the airport this morning. So I had $88 US, and then I paid for the taxi. It was 15, but I gave him 20 and said keep the change. And then I spent $2 as a tip to the guy who showed me up to my room. So point being, when she said $5.62, I checked and I had a 5 and a 1, and then 3 20s. So gave her $6, and she gave me some change. But she didn't give me US coins, she gave me the local currency. So here you go. Cambodian riel, 500, 1,000. So this is 38 cents. I'm not sure yet if they have the US coins here. Maybe they don't use the coins, just the bills. We'll see. But you can use either one, and I think that it really doesn't make much difference. I'll have to find out if it's maybe a little bit better to use the local currency or what. But anyway, here we are again in the nightlife area, but so far not looking like good places to get to work on the computer. Things are a bit loud around here. So maybe I'll just head back to my room, get to work there, go find some dinner a little bit later. Not quite hungry yet. Looks like there might be some music or something going on there later tonight. So I guess that is going to do it for this video. More coming from Phnom Penh, Cambodia. See ya.